Alright, hey guys. So recently, some great news about Pokemon X and Pokemon Y have come up about, Mega Evolution and stuff, and, if, any of you guys even care. Lately, I've been getting back that nostalgic feeling of Pokemon. Yeah, don't judge me. But, I just wanted to talk about some stuff. X and Y is right around the corner, and, I just wanted to kind of talk about some stuff. About original concepts, just to get that nostalgic feeling. Now, just to be clear, I'm probably gonna just include red, blue, gold, and silver into this. Because, those are my favorite games, and I started out playing silver version. And then I got yellow version because I kind of like that. Even though, now I really wish I had red version. But, I played them on my, Game Boy Color back in the day. And, I started playing Pokemon when I was around 6 and everything. And, I just want to kind of tell some stories about my first impressions of it. And, why the show is so wrong about so many things. And, oh my god, I don't even... Any of you who actually take the show for some advice or whatever, just leave right now, because I will not listen to any crap you have to tell me, because, anyway. So, what I really want to talk about is the original concept of Pokeballs, which might sound, crazy at first, but nobody's really talked about this on YouTube, and I'm surprised by that. And nobody's really irked by this, but I'm kind of irked by this. When I first started playing Pokemon, it was, silver and gold version. Actually, I had the silver cartridge and I played that. Well, the original idea for a Pokeball was a ball that caught Pokemon. Simple. Yeah, we all know that. Everybody knows that. It's kind of Pokemon 101. If you don't know what a Pokeball is and does, then, go back to school, or not school, because I don't even know. Just you need to learn and actually play a game. Anyway, so Pokeball is essentially a ball that you throw at a Pokemon, and it opens up into two halves, which is the original concept. If you look at the Satoshi Tajiri's old drawings about the original concepts for capsule monsters, or as we know it today is Pokemon, then Pokeball has a button on the top, even though final product it was in the middle, even though the sprite doesn't have a button on it at all, unless you arguably say that little white thing at the top's a button, which I always just kind of thought it was just texturing detail. Even that game, like the Pokeballs, why even need detail? I guess it just makes it look nice. But anyway, it's essentially, the original idea was a button on the top. You press it, and a Pokemon jumps out of it. No flashy energy ball thing, like, here's what I thought. When I played Gold and Silver, I saw this, thing. My first Pokemon I caught, I'm pretty sure was a Pidgey. I can't remember, because I was 6 then. And, but, the Pokeball graphic went across the screen, opened into two halves, the Pokemon gets smaller until it was a little black dot, and the Pokeball closed in on it. Which is really just some fancy sprite work for back then in the day. I mean, it was pretty fancy for back then. Everybody knows that. But, so, when I saw the show, I played the game before the show. I played Gold and Silver before the show. And I also saw some scenes from Red and Blue, so I knew, like, the original idea for a Pokeball was where it's this ball that goes, you throw it at a Pokemon, some, clouds, as it looked like in the game, appeared, or some little, like, graphic where it shows the ball busting open and then closing again. And then you see a Pokeball, the Pokeball shaking until it catches a Pokemon, or it busts out. And when I first saw the show, I was a little confused. Ash caught a Caterpie. I didn't see any halves opening, smoke clearing, Caterpie getting small, getting into the ball, I didn't see, maybe just the simple red and blue animation. No. What I saw was a Pokeball. I mean, this was pretty creative on the show, but I just didn't stick to the game, and the show never really stuck to the game. But, Pokeball goes over, touches the Caterpie, or, hits the Caterpie or whatever. Which, isn't a Pokeball, made of metal or something? So that wouldn't... But, I mean, the whole concept, if you think about it, doesn't really make that much sense. Because, it's fantasy, and fantasy is where everyone wants to be. Anyway, it opens up and sucks the Caterpie into it as an energy beam. And then closes. And then, red dot in the middle of, the button that apparently, instead of opening the Pokeball now, magically makes it go small or big. Oh god. Anyway, magically resizes the Pokeball to either the small size or the baseball size, so you can catch something. And I was thinking, what is this? I mean, this isn't really how I imagined it, and I'm pretty sure it's not how Satoshi Tajiri imagined it. Which I can tell you, Gold and Silver came out, I'm pretty sure, if memory serves correct, a little bit after the show came out, and the Pokeball was in half. And it was in half, so that's his original idea. Well, obviously, I don't know if many people know this, but Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon, was not the main director. He didn't even really do anything with Gens 3 through 5. I don't know about 6, but 6th Gen, the idea of the Pokeball from the show kind of migrated into the game already, and it's too late to change it, I mean, 10 years, too late to change, obviously. Almost 15, actually. Actually, no, almost 20. What am I thinking? Anyway. Kind of went off on a side note there. So, I was kind of amazed how they could get away with something like this without, asking the creator or something. And I just kind of thought, well, what does a Pokeball actually do? Now, what a Pokeball is supposed to do is, open up, catch Pokemon by, kind of it's hard to imagine, it basically shrinks it down, and then in some mangas the Pokeball is see-through, and you can see through it to see a Pokemon in there. No energy ball or data, no binary code going through there or anything, or no imaginary Pokemon Island for them. No, it's straight up look in there and they're in there, and apparently it's comfortable or something. Now there are other ideas, I know in Pokemon Adventures, the GS Ball had a special something called a capture net, which apparently all Pokeballs have, allegedly. And even in the Electric Tail of Pikachu, when they had to capture that Haunter and that giant Pokeball that ended up failing, they had to make a gigantic capture net or whatever. So, there's an idea called a capture net, which I don't really know if I like that idea, but it would explain, maybe the capture net is made of the energy that sucks up a Pokemon or whatever. But I have a couple of concepts for a Pokeball. One of them is that it opens in half and sucks the Pokemon up, and the Pokemon materializes as a smaller version of the Pokemon inside the ball, and then you let it out and it rematerializes as a large Pokemon. So I'd like to think of it as a transportation beam mixed with a shrink ray. That sounds pretty childish, shrink ray, but that's all I can really tell you about it. But then my other one is kind of a mixed concept of all of them, is where the Pokeball goes over, hits a Pokemon, goes in half, sucks it up into a little energy beam, while you see the animation from the game, and then, I don't know. It's a cool concept. I wish I could draw it for you guys and show it on the screen. I probably will one day, but, I don't know. But, yeah. That's kind of how I imagined it, and I don't know. That it could be wrong, Anyway, that's kind of all I have to say about that. And yeah. What are we at right now? 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it kind of pissed me off, though. I mean, now that I think about it, the concept of the Pokeball is so skewed now. Didn't it used to be not mystery. That sounds weird. It used to be a mystery how they worked in the game. You're just kind of like, wow, I wish I knew how it worked. It's kind of like missing, though. Whoa, what's this guy's story? What is he? Is he like a secret Pokemon? Is he, it's kind of like that. It's like, what does a Pokeball do? What's the story? How does it work? How do I make it like work for me? And basically that. But then the show, it's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, there's a little bit of mystery, like what happens once it gets sucked inside the Pokeball. But it's kind of like, oh, we know how it gets in there. Oh. Well, alrighty then. And it just kind of ruins it, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, as somebody who's my brothers and me have been into it since the start. We were there when Pokemania hit, or at least they were. I was born a little after that, but they're around 10. Yeah, my brothers are like 10 years older than me, okay? Anyway, they were there. I was there a little late, but, I was still there. I mean, I've dwelled in Pokemon for so many years, and I mean, what I've seen of it is remarkable, but then, the show makes no sense. I mean, think about it. If lightning strikes a rock, does the rock, crumble? Of course not. The rock's just a rock, of course. First of all, rocks don't even attract lightning, and then even if it hits the ground, like I know a lot of Pokemon who are rock type are also ground type. If it hits the ground, it leaves a crater maybe, but it's not like, maybe a little taser. Taser won't do anything to the ground, so I don't know what the show's going at saying, oh, you have to supercharge your Pokemon, then it'll work. Because that's just dumb. Whoever came up with that needs to be... Okay, I'm not going to go into depth, but they just need to be fired or something. Not really, because that'd ruin their life, and I don't like doing that to people. But, it's just a stupid concept. And then, I mean, I guess it was a cool original idea back in the day for the Pokeball and everything, but it's just really overused, and there's no mystery to it. It's like, it gets sucked up and whatever, and... But then the show really pisses me off about a lot of things. Like, you're not, like, don't evolve your Pokemon because it's evil and they won't like you or whatever. Or, Pokeballs are evil or something. And, like, Pokemon Ranger, I'm just like, oh my god, really? Like, really? Are you really doing this here? And everybody knows Pokemon Ranger was just made to appease PETA for being, like, against Pokemon because they think it's Satanist or something. I don't know. I mean, I've been through all that crap. Like, at one point in like 2006, my parents were convinced that Pokemon was satanic. And if you don't know this already, Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon, was a bug catcher. Like, literally, bug catchers. He liked to catch bugs when he was little. Okay, it was something everybody did in his neighborhood, and he really loved to do it. And he made a game based off of bug catching, which is now called Pokemon, as we like to know it. And so PETA, I don't even, this whole Satanist thing, calling Pokemon Satanist, I don't even get where you're going at, because that's obviously not true. And then PETA, you know what? Animals kill each other in the wild all the time, so what's so different about humans who are considered animals killing other animals to survive? I mean, if we can build all the stuff we do now, and I'm not going to get into a political argument, but if you ever seen that meme or that thing where that guy's trolling and he says, if animals weren't meant to be eaten, then why are they made out of food? Then your argument against me is invalid, and Pokemon's just for fun anyway. And anyway, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the overuse of Pikachu. Okay, so Pikachu was that gem of the Viridian Forest, not gem as in like Brock and Misty, but you know what I mean. He was the hidden gem, GEM, of the forest, Viridian Forest. He was that guy who had a 3% like encounter rate. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I don't know. I'll remember later. But you know, he had that 3% rate or whatever, I'm pretty sure. And you know, he was really useful. First electric Pokemon you get in the game, and then it's really you know, cool. And then once you get a Celadon and you have that Pikachu on your team, you can evolve it, even though I wouldn't recommend evolving it right away if it hasn't learned agility, because then you'll be screwed. But when the show came out, it affected Pokemon Trainer Red, my favorite and honestly the all-time greatest Pokemon trainer of all time. It affected his team. You know, Pikachu. Not Raichu, Pikachu. Now, I'm pretty sure Red has enough money to buy a Thunderstone. I can understand if he didn't. Or if he just liked Pikachu the way it was, and it was really, really powerful, and he didn't know if that streak was going to go on, the good stat, EV training streak was going to go on for a long time, or whatever. But, I'm pretty sure Red wouldn't have an under-evolved Pokemon. He'd do the right thing and make sure his Pikachu would be well-trained or whatever. I mean, Red's a pretty kick-ass trainer. Everybody knows this. But, anyway. So, the show, when it came out, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Red. No, it's Ash. Okay, his name's Ash, whatever. I get it. Next thing I know, what's going on here? What? Pikachu? That doesn't happen in the game. What is up? And then next thing I know, okay. So this guy can't catch a simple Pidgey, and his Pikachu hates him. This is not going well. But you know, it was a new show, it was Pokemon, everybody liked it. Eventually, Pikachu became a sensation. Now, I know there are rumors about Clefairy being Ash's original Pokemon, but that he was supposed to get, but that never happened because they thought Pikachu was more of a dynamic twist on stuff. But you know, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon eventually became everybody's little bitch, and everybody loved Pikachu. Pikachu was everybody's favorite Pokemon. One of my favorite Pokemon was ruined for me, and you know, I mean, it just kind of makes you, you know, it just kind of ruins it for you. I mean, it doesn't actually like ruin the entire concept, even though the concept has been overused a ton. It's still, you know, fun game, right? But one of my favorite Pokemon is, you know, just everybody's favorite Pokemon now. And his evolved form is overly ignored by most of the percentage of people who like Pikachu. And they're just like, oh, I don't like Raichu's because it's Pikachu when he evolves, and I don't want to evolve my Pikachu. You know. I just don't. I just don't want. I just kind of didn't want that to happen, but it did. And don't really know. But of course everybody's favorite is Charizard and everything. That's always been my favorite. But Pikachu just got too overrated, and you'll never find a single piece of Pokemon merchandise without Pikachu on there somewhere, which annoys me. Unless, you know, Pokemon Silver or Crystal, but I'm pretty sure Pikachu's on that somewhere. I mean, you know, it has to be Pikachu. Pikachu is everything. Pikachu's the god of Pokemon. Pikachu's the only thing that'll ever work ever, and if it's not Pikachu, then screw it. So that's why I'm really excited about the Origin anime that's coming out, because it's an actual game-based anime. Other people are like, no, they're gonna ruin the concept. But from what I've seen so far, it's right there with the concept, except for the Pokeball thing, which I mentioned earlier. But you know, the Charmander, finally a Pokemon game where the main you know, main protagonist Pokemon isn't Pikachu, or Pikachu has barely anything to do with anything in it. I'm glad that's happening, even though, you know, Pikachu's still one of my favorites. He's just overrated, and maybe they should just retire him for a little while and then bring him back, which would, that's a stupid idea and would kill the franchise, but because they already kind of used him to the point of where you can't really retire him without killing a franchise. So anyway, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. So yeah, if you guys have any comments or stuff you'd like to tell me, stuff I forgot to mention, stuff you want to hear mentioned, then just message me about it. You know, leave a comment, leave a like, and I will respond. I mean, believe me, I check my inbox a lot, so I will respond. But I mean, Pokemon X and Y. This is something that I'd actually want to buy a 3DS for. I know I don't have a 3DS yet. Shut up. I'd actually probably just buy a 2DS. Just 2DS is everything you can get out of a 3DS except for 3D. So, you know, as long as it plays the game, I don't really care about the 3D. I didn't really think 3D was necessary, even though it is cool. I just don't really care to have 3D in my video game experience, like, you know, actual, like, touching something. I don't know, you know, I just, you know, like things the way they are now with Pokemon. I mean, even though I'm ranting so much, I like the way things have turned out. It's just, you know, you can't look up Pokeball on Google without a single the unoriginal concept. I use unoriginal because it's not the original concept. Has not, you know, come out yet. And what am I talking about? I don't even know. The original concept is not on Google, and it's, why would you use Google in the first place, you might ask? I don't know. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I can't wait for X and Y, and yeah. Do you guys like this video? Yes, you do, and I guess I'll see you later. And wow, 24 minutes. This is gonna take forever to render, but I might split it up into parts. You know what? No, I won't. You know what? I'll give this to you guys, because nobody else on YouTube has really talked about the original concept for a Pokeball that I know of. If there is any, post it in the comments again, like I said. But, I'll talk to you guys later, and, yeah, see?